one of the happiest days of a person's life, a moment filled with love, celebration, and new beginnings. But for 26-year-old Stephanie Scott, what should have been a joyous time turned into an unimaginable nightmare. Just days before she was set to walk down the aisle, Stephanie disappeared. The shocking truth behind her fate would leave an entire nation in mourning. This is the heartbreaking story of Stephanie Scott, her life, her dreams, and the senseless act of violence that took it all away. Stephanie Scott was born on November 12, 1988, in Canowindra, New South Wales, Australia. She was the daughter of Marilyn and Robert Scott, growing up in a close-knit family filled with love. From a young age, Stephanie had a passion for teaching. She was bright, kind, and incredibly dedicated, qualities that made her beloved by her community and later by her students. After graduating high school, Stephanie pursued her dream of becoming a teacher, eventually securing a position at Leeton High School. There, she worked as an English and drama teacher, inspiring students with her creativity and warmth. But outside of her career, Stephanie was also in love. She had been with her high school sweetheart, Aaron Leeson Woolley, for years. Their relationship was the kind most people dream of, filled with laughter, shared adventures, and unconditional support. And in April 2015, they were about to start their next chapter together, as husband and wife. Stephanie's wedding day was set for April 11, 2015. She had spent months carefully planning every detail: the dress, the decorations, the venue. She was excited, happy, and full of anticipation for her future with Aaron. But on April 5, 2015, just 6 days before her wedding, Stephanie disappeared. That morning, Stephanie had gone to Leeton High School to finalize lesson plans for her substitute teacher while she was away on her honeymoon. It was Easter Sunday, and the school was empty. Or so she thought. Little did she know, Vincent Stanford, a 24-year-old school cleaner, was inside the building. Vincent Stanford was not a well-known figure in Leeton. He worked as a school cleaner, often staying in the shadows. But behind closed doors, Stanford was harboring a dark and disturbing obsession with violence. It would later be revealed that he had been researching violent crimes, rape, and murder online for years. That Easter Sunday, when Stanford saw Stephanie alone at the school, he made a chilling decision. In a premeditated attack, he ambushed Stephanie, assaulted her, and murdered her in cold blood. After the attack, Stanford drove 40 minutes out of town to Cocopara National Park, where he dumped and set fire to her body in an attempt to destroy evidence. When Stephanie failed to return home that evening, her family immediately knew something was wrong. She was responsible, always checking in. This was completely unlike her. Her fiancé, Aaron, and her parents reported her missing, and within hours, police launched a search. Stephanie's car was found abandoned later that day, but there was no sign of Stephanie. For 2 days, the community desperately searched for her, clinging to hope that she was still alive. But the truth was far more horrifying than anyone imagined. On April 7, 2015, just 2 days after Stephanie disappeared, police arrested Vincent Stanford. Detectives had quickly turned their attention to him after reviewing CCTV footage and noting his disturbing behavior at work. A search of his home revealed damning evidence: Stephanie's engagement ring, her belongings, and worst of all, photos he had taken of her body. But the horror didn't stop there. Investigators also discovered that Stanford had been fantasizing about murder for years, keeping records of his violent thoughts and online searches. He confessed to the crime, providing chilling details of how he planned and executed the attack. In October 2016, Vincent Stanford pleaded guilty to Stephanie's murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, one of the harshest sentences in Australian history. His twin brother, Marcus Stanford, was also arrested after receiving Stephanie's engagement ring and other stolen items in the mail from Vincent. Marcus was sentenced to 15 months in prison for being an accessory after the fact. Stephanie's family, while devastated, found some solace in knowing justice was served. Stephanie Scott's murder shook the nation and led to conversations about violence against women. Her family, determined to honor her memory, established a scholarship in her name to support aspiring young teachers. Her story remains a tragic reminder of how quickly life can be stolen and why we must continue to advocate for women's safety and justice for victims of violence. Stephanie Scott had her entire life ahead of her,